How do we talk to our preteens and teens about what's going on right now? If you live in the Jewish world, everyone's aware of the fact there's a war going on in Eretz Yisrael, either because you're literally a part of that war, because you're being impacted by it in a direct way, or because you're impacted by an indirect way, because you're a member of Klal Yisrael, and there's no way not to know, and you're davening, and you're learning, and you're doing chesed, and you're giving stuck, and it's all beautiful. And our kids know what's going on also, so how do we talk to them about what's happening? Probably the most important thing I'm going to say is that we need to realize that how we are handling things ourselves in this situation is going to have a tremendous impact on our children. If we are freaking out, in all likelihood our children are going to freak out. If we are leaning on Emunah and we are really building our bitachon muscles, our children will do the same. There's another video that's going to be put out in this series about self-care. I urge everyone please to look at it. Everyone should understand how to manage their own emotions in these situations, because if you're not managing your own emotions, you're not going to be able to help your children, and it's just not going to be good. So that is probably the most important thing I'm going to say. Other things. Communication is maybe one of the most important things in life. It's very difficult once we're talking about teens, we're talking about adolescents. Their mode of communication is like, yeah, right? It's hard to communicate with them sometimes. The rule of how successful a conversation was with teens in general is who did most of the talking. We want to try as much as possible to give our kids an opportunity to talk. Some kids are naturally more open and some are more closed. But we want to try to offer them opportunities. The higher percentage of the conversation that the young person is speaking, the more likely that conversation went well. Kids don't like when we play games. They don't like when we pretend. They want real. That's what teens want. They want genuine, they want authentic, and they want real. They don't have patience for all this fancy being polite and being nice and not being honest about things. So when you're communicating with your teens, be honest. If you're anxious, they're going to know if you're anxious. Don't pretend that you're not. But be honest about how you can be anxious and be okay at the same time. Be honest about some of the struggles you're having. Share in an honest way. Don't overshare. Don't burden them. But share and show them that it's okay. And model for them how to have a conversation about what's going on, about a conversation about feelings. And give them an opportunity to talk. No feelings are wrong. Validate whatever they're feeling. Validate it. Don't tell them, explain why it's an issue or why they're off. Validate how they're feeling. After you validate how they're feeling, then you could kind of discuss it with them a little bit more, maybe help them see, maybe there's another way to look at things. But start with the validate. Feelings cannot be wrong. Feelings just are. A color can't be wrong. Blue is blue. That's what it is. A feeling can't be wrong. Give your kids an opportunity to share with you as much as you can. And if they're not willing to just try to offer them other opportunities, people they can speak to, or just let them know that you're there for them, and you can still have conversations about what's happening even if they don't want to speak so much. One of the most common questions that I'm getting right now is, how much information should we be sharing with our kids? Well, what are your kids exposed to? If your kids don't have internet access, that's one thing. If they do have internet access, you're going to have a much harder time. The rule that I want to share with everybody is that we have to be careful not to traumatize ourselves. One of the things that these Vildachayas are very good at is psychological warfare. When they're putting out videos, and we watch those videos of the horrible things that are going on, we're traumatizing ourselves. Even just hearing the stories about what happened can be traumatizing. There's value in knowing what to daven for. The storylines, the headlines, there's value in that. There's no value in knowing the details. If anything, it pulls us away from HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and it increases anxiety. There's a natural desire, I want to know. I feel like if I know, I'm going to feel better. The more I know, the more I feel like I'm in control. Only HaKadosh Baruch Hu is in control of the situation. Nobody else could possibly be. So there's no value in more and more information. There is a lot of value in taking care of ourselves and protecting ourselves, and that's an important conversation to have with our children who might have access beyond what we might ideally want them to have. Have conversations about that. Watching videos online. You want to watch videos? The Mika Amchi Yisrael videos are beautiful to watch. There's so much chesed going on in Klal Yisrael right now. Focus on that, not on the atrocities that are going on. And also reading the news. Limit it. Once in the morning, once in the late afternoon, evening, not right before you go to sleep. Don't have dreams about these things. And have conversations with your kids about this and explain why. Don't just say, I don't allow it. Explain why. Help them appreciate why this is going to be something which isn't good for them. When we're communicating with our children, it's very important. This is especially true for people in Eretz Yisrael who feel like they're in danger. Do not make promises that you cannot keep. Do not promise your children that everything is going to be okay. We can explain how life has ups and downs. And there are hard times and there are better times. And eventually things will get better. And Amir Hashem, that will be soon. But we have no idea when. We don't know what's going to be tomorrow. There's no way for us to possibly know. This will probably be a while. So let's not make promises that we can't keep. Let's try to make sure that we're focusing on the things that we do know. I know that as your father or as your mother, I will do everything I can always to be there for you. I know that whenever you need me, I will do whatever I can to be available to you. That is something that you can possibly do, and it's something that you should do. The last message I want to leave us all with, which is so important, is when you're not sure what to do, please get guidance. Now is not the time to be guessing. Baruch Hashem, our community is blessed with many people, Rabbanim, with a lot of pikchus and a lot of chachmas achayim, with a lot of professionals now in our community who have our values and who have a lot to offer. If you're not sure how to handle your child in a particular situation, please get guidance. I'm wishing a quick end to all of this, or fortunately to all those who are injured, that everyone should come home safely, the soldiers and those who have been taken in captivity. And we should always be hearing Besaros Tovos as soon as possible.